What's up, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world right now. You're back with me, Ian Kane, and DappRadar. A big welcome to another installment from the DappRadar gaming crew. The date today is Tuesday, October the 4th. Wow, crazy. A huge hello to all the listeners, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. It's really cool to be here with these gaming guys. It's not my regular slot, so I'm quite happy to join in with these dudes today. And we've got a really cool play session today. We're going to play Legends of Bezogia, which is a play-to-earn game. And the marketing slogan for this game is a blockchain game for non-crypto people. And I love that. So we're going to dive in and we're going to ask all sorts of questions while these guys are kind of playing through this beta test. So we've got Steve Murray, who's the CEO of Bezoge, and Ben Hattar, who's the lead game developer. So, and alongside those two guys, we've got some of the DappRadar gang here. We've got Fabrizio and Alex from the DappRadar team. So these guys are going to dive into Legends of Bezogia, like I said. And there's a new playtest out for a beta mode. So this is pretty exclusive, guys. We're jumping in and we're going to show people what's on offer in the beta and also to see what these guys have been working on. So if you watch closely, these guys might uncover some tips and tricks. But yeah, how are you guys all today? How are you doing? Steve, what's good? How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. You're enjoying the Chinese holiday. We have a 1 week National Day holiday right now. So it's fun to be coming on here and playing games with you on the holiday.
Nice, man. Very nice. Good, productive use of holiday time, I would say. Benji, how you doing?
Precisely.
I'm doing great. I just arrived here in Switzerland, so I'm enjoying having like a better internet, and it will make all the uploads and the builds, everything a lot faster. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice, important stuff. Fast internet, right? Even in 2022, we're still debating this. Fabrizio, how you doing?
Hello, Ian. I'm fine, thanks. I'm in Tenerife and enjoying this day with this new game. Very excited. I like that one.
Pretty cool. Alex, last but not least.
Alive in this bear market. All good. All working well. Seeing what Bezoge was going to be about.
Nice, man. All right, so we're going to jump into the game, but we wouldn't be doing things right unless we had a little juicy prize up for grabs today. So this is a live stream, and basically what you need to do is retweet the live stream and tag a couple of friends, and you can be in with a chance to win a Bezoge, which is an origin block for the game. So it's a pretty cool competition. I'll give a shout out again, but all you need to do is retweet the live stream and tag some friends. If you haven't got any friends, just tag some random people. It doesn't matter. They won't know. It's fine. All right, cool. So you guys ready to rock? Is everything all set up? Alex, I believe you're the man in charge of the gaming today. So let's get your screen up. In advance, I'm going to apologize. We're doing a live stream. It can get a bit patchy with the graphics sometimes. Yeah, why don't we kick off with Steve? Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here. Give us a bit of a backstory for the legends, about the lore. What's the idea behind it? Give us the kind of top line information, man.
So, I mean, Legends of Bezogia is an open world MMORPG. It's very much, we tried to make it based on a meme metaverse, kind of, to a certain extent. That's what we call it, the meme metaverse. So we have really cool enemies in the game, which all sort of represent the negative things online. So as you're walking around, we'll show you some of the enemies. We have things like trolls. We have keyboard warriors. We have Shiba Inu in there. We have like a giant swole shib in there. I'm not sure if he's in the game yet, but we do have Donald Pump and Donald Dump coming. Donald Pump is like a big bull, like a centaur, but he's a bull. So of course, Pump, like the bull market, and Donald Dump is a big bear with Donald Trump's face. It's they're pretty cool characters. So we tried to take like everything online that is sort of popular right now, everything that is trending, the negative things, the negative side of it, and make that the enemy in the game. So you as a Bezoge character, you're running around trying to defeat the enemies and to re-decentralize the blocks that they were made from. So the world was attacked by someone called the FUD King, and he stole the private keys, and because he wanted to centralize the currency in the game.
Right.
So we have the MBOK, the magical block currency, which is launching soon. That's the token, in-game earning token.
Okay.
And basically the goal of the Bezoge is to kill the enemies, collect the blocks to re-decentralize the currency from the power of the FUD King. And that's kind of the goal of the game.
That's very cool. I like the idea of incorporating kind of the most annoying things on the internet. Steve, how do you like whose job is it to keep track of what's annoying people the most on the internet? Like who's finding all these annoying things that we all hate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we don't necessarily just put negative things in there. We try to put some things that might be seen positively, like Donald Trump, for example. There's positives and negatives, of course, and but we just take all the negatives and make that the enemy. We have the trolls, the keyboard warriors. Anytime the community comes up with ideas, we always take them on board as well. So
Nice.
I think you'll see Benji. I don't know if he's still flying around. Is Elon Musk still flying around in the neutral zone?
So
this is like your guys' opportunity to kind of poke a bit of fun at the internet, right?
Sure. In this build, I'm not sure is there, but like we're adding him back in the next one. Just where to fix the trajectory.
It's basically a big whale with Elon Musk's face, and he flies around in the sky, just overseeing the world, overseeing his lands as the richest man in the universe. So,
of course, his important role
on the map.
What was that, Fabrizio?
I cannot find you. I got lost.
Oh yeah. We took a launch pad. We'll come back. We'll come right back to you.
They'll come back for you, Fabrizio. They've not forgotten you. They're gonna come back.
I'll see you on the map. We'll get you.
So, thinking about the kind of aspects of this game, this is a blockchain game, and the marketing slogan is a blockchain game.
Crypto game.
Yeah,
I believe it's the first crypto game for non-crypto people. That's what we're going for here.
Okay, cool. And in terms of that, one thing that really steps out for me for non-crypto people is the UX of it, the onboarding of it. And this has been a big area that gaming has to solve the blockchain has to solve overall. Can we talk about that for a minute? Like, how do you guys manage the kind of onboarding process for players? Is this a mobile friendly or is it desktop only? And then we can dive a bit deeper into kind of the blockchain aspects as well. But what's the onboarding process like, Steve, for this? Is it fairly straightforward?
So our goal as a company is not just to be a one-hit wonder, single game project. We want to be the Blizzard of crypto gaming. That's our goal here. Nice. So Legends of Bezogia is the first of many games in the pipeline. We will have some other games in the future, like maybe FPS, maybe card games, based on the same world, that same meme world with all these cool characters like Donald Pump and Donald Trump and the trolls and the keyboard warriors. We'll keep them all in the same universe, same lore. Okay. But basically, in order to play, you sign up for a Bezoge Labs account. Bezoge Labs is our company. So you sign up for a Bezoge Labs account with your email and password. If you have a wallet, you can link it, but it's not necessary to link a wallet. You can play without one completely. And then basically you log into the game with that Bezoge Labs account. And anything you earn will be credited to your Bezoge Labs account. And you can withdraw it later to the chain if you want to. But if you don't want to, we'll actually have a cross-chain marketplace. So we've already actually developed that, and we're in the process of testing it, where there'll be, I think it's actually kind of revolutionary in terms of crypto gaming, is you'll be able to list any weapons that you create in the game for sale directly in the game or on the Bezoge Labs marketplace, which we call bull market. And basically, it may be bear market when the charts are not looking so good. But basically, you can list a weapon for sale in-game completely off-chain, and someone could buy it on-chain. So as a player, you'll be able to just sign up, play the game. Anything you create, you'll be able to actually sell directly to people on-chain without even having a wallet.
Wow. That is a bit of a game changer, I think. I've not heard of anything like that. So as a player, I can abstract all the difficulties of wallet connections and things. I can enter a native marketplace, list my item. Somebody can come along and buy it. The purchase happens on chain, but I'm none the wiser, right? I just get my. How do you deal with the financial part of it then? What happens at the back end? Like, how am I Is it credited into my account? How does that work?
Yeah, it would be credited into your Bezoge Labs account, and then if you do want to withdraw it to a wallet at a later date because you've created one, you could, or otherwise you could just input the wallet address of your Binance, your whichever exchange the token is listed on. And just directly send the funds to the exchange. Nice. So you actually because there's such a small adoption of crypto wallets. I think blockchain wallets. I think people kind of misinterpret. A lot of game developers in the blockchain space have not understood this yet, where there's about 5% adoption of blockchain in general, just as a whole. And then you look at how many of those people actually have a wallet, like a MetaMask.
Yeah.
I think it's less than 10%. So then you're looking at world adoption of wallets is less than 0.5%. And then and a lot of these games are forcing people to not only have a wallet, but also have some token for gas fees, whether that's ETH, whether that's Matic, whatever it is, and then also to buy NFTs.
Yep.
So with our game, actually, you can come in. You don't have to own an NFT. I think Alex doesn't own an NFT. I think he rented it. Yep, he rented it. So you come in one click, you rent an NFT, you get a random one from the pool, and a percentage of your earnings goes into an earning pool for all the owners of the NFTs. So you can still play, but not the percentage is not fixed yet, but somewhere between 10 to 30% probably will go to the owner of the NFT in a pool. So all the NFT owners will earn a portion of what the renters are earning in the game.
So it is really, really set up to adopt people that have no clue about blockchain. You've almost set levels, right? So you can start on a basic level and you can advance if you wish as you go along. So how about the kind of, if I choose to never go crypto with it and just sort of collect rewards, I'm guessing there's things I can use in the game. And then as time goes on, as you said, you want to be the Blizzard of gaming. So this in-gaming token, as it were, is it the plan to be used across many platforms across the whole ecosystem if I never want to come out into crypto? I mean,
yeah, for example, when you kill all of these enemies and you earn blocks, right? We call them blocks, magical blocks, MBLK. When you earn those, you can spend them in game on minting weapons, armor. You'll be able to use them to enter PvP arenas in future. We also want to make a lot of Web2 integrations, like online, like I hate to call it the O2O, the whole online to offline sort of craze. We want to link a lot of that into the game. So we're in talks with a few companies about having NFTs of their products. Let's say a car, for example. They make a limited edition car, and the only way to buy it is with our cryptocurrency in-game. So you'll have to play the game, you'll have to get to the car showroom and buy it in-game and mint it, and then you can actually go into their showroom in real life and actually go get your car. These are just a few of the things. We can also do watches, we can have fashion items. There's a whole load of things that we can integrate with the whole in-game currency, and people can buy NFTs and get them in real life.
Nice. It's all sounding very good. Okay. Like thinking, Benjamin, I just wanted to kind of jump over to you for a second as well, because you're the game designer on this title. So I wanted to kind of dig into your head about the kind of process and how long does it take to put something together like this beta test? How long have you guys been working on this, and where do you start? And give us an idea.
I mean, I think we kind of started from like this project started like in May of last year, I think. And so the development takes a while, but like it's usually we kind of because I come from like a VR game development background, so I'm used to develop games that are kind of technically challenging to develop, and so like creating something for the blockchain, I already had like some basis of stuff that I could use, not necessarily code to reuse, but like things to like I already knew how to make a game, and like we had a team of lots of people who already like all know that very well. Some people are like experts for like the back end of video game. We have people who know like a lot of cryptography, like creating servers that are very secure, and some like very good for UI. And so we have like a large team of like a lot of people who have like very specific and very advanced expertise in many fields. And so like to create a game, we're not like starting from zero, because that would take too much time. But like we already start with people who already know what they're doing, and yeah. And so that's a very challenging game, because like it's huge. Like you don't see that many MMOs, so even without crypto. But that's
the reason I kind of asked this as well is to see the timescales involved in crypto gaming and gaming overall. I think there's a lot of confusion with you know, certain products have come out within very fast time, but let's be honest, they're not very good. I think in terms of building a fully fledged kind of title like this, it takes some time, and I just wanted to get that out there so people are aware. You know, people are very impatient in the cryptoverse. I've come to see.
Sure. I mean,
Really?
game
Are
development.
you sure about that?
Oh, have you had a different experience that you want to share with us?
I wouldn't have guessed. But yeah, like a development of a video game takes always like some time. I mean, it's never. It's. I mean, it can be a fairly fast process, but like it's still like there's a lot to do, like between like all the environments, the characters, the coding, the backend, everything is fairly takes time to do. So of course, developing a good game takes some time.
What's your
Benji, have you
background?
visited any of the cool NPCs yet? I think we've not seen any of these NPCs yet from Alex. If he walks up to these NPCs and presses, is it F?
F, yeah. We can go to Bullish. Maybe we'll see some funnier ones. So if you guys follow me, there should be in Bullish.
There's some pretty funny NPCs. There's some pretty funny NPCs. I think there's one beside the Zeppelin where you get on and he asks if you can pay for a ticket, and he says, "But before you ask, we don't accept Safe Moon."
So you guys you're getting this information because you've been deep into crypto for a long time. I'm getting this feeling like you're not newbies to this space at all, right? You guys, or am I wrong in thinking that? You seem you're very aware of what's going on in our space, whereas other people I speak to perhaps have come from a finance background and started building games. Like, what's your background, chaps? Like, what's your experiences with crypto? I mean, even as well.
So mine, maybe I can start, Benji. My experience, I got into crypto in around 2000 and trying to work it out. I think around 2014.
Okay.
How I got into crypto is actually kind of an interesting story. I'll not say too much about it, but my employer the bank accidentally paid my salary twice, and I decided to empty my bank account and buy Bitcoin with it. Because I had it wasn't a lot. It was like $6,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought I'll get that money out of the bank account as soon as possible and invest it in something really, really safe, right? Like Bitcoin.
Like Bitcoin, right?
And I think Bitcoin was less than $100 at the time. And what I did was there was an arbitrage opportunity between Russia and China on the exchanges. So the Russian exchange was actually 50% more expensive for Bitcoin. So it was like $150 in Russia and $100 in the Chinese exchange. So I would buy on the Chinese exchange. So I would send it over to the Russian exchange, which was BTCE. It's been shut down now.
Yeah.
And then I would switch it for Litecoin, which was the same price back then. On both, like China and Russia were the same price for Litecoin. So I would switch my Bitcoin for Litecoin, send the Litecoin back to China, and then switch it for Bitcoin again. And I would make around 50% an hour.
Nice.
And I did this for about a week before the prices got closer and closer and closer as more people found out about it. And that was my first foray into crypto. And then since then, I've run a few startups in China and Hong Kong. I ran an e-commerce business, a cross-border e-commerce business for 3-4 years. We had offices in China, Vietnam, Thailand, where we brought a lot of fashion brands onto a cross-border e-commerce marketplace. So we had the independent fashion brands from Thailand. You could buy them in China, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Got to say, like, your first foray was arbitrage trading between a Chinese and another exchange. That's pretty impressive. Like, I'm impressed with that. Benji, is your story as impressive? It's okay if it's not. What have you got?
It's not as impressive. I mean, I come mostly from a gaming background, game development, and I think I was always interested in crypto. Like in previous game, like I kind of wanted like I was thinking it makes a lot of sense to have like game money that is not just like in-game money, that is not like a fake. I mean, that has that can be exchanged or that can be kind of used for something else. And and I think that's kind of something that interested me, like from the beginning with crypto. But yeah, I haven't like before that. Before joining this project, I didn't really. I mean,
Nice.
I
So you're
knew
a
about
gamer.
it, but I didn't. Yeah, I was mostly a gamer.
I think Benji's first foray into crypto, if I can speak for him, because I know exactly what his first foray into crypto was our token, and he had some, and I know that because we gave him and his team some of our token as to be part of the project, and I know that his first foray into that was his tokens going quickly from like, I don't know how much it was worth in the beginning, maybe like $50,000 to being worth like $1.5 million in a month, because our token went kind of
At
crazy
which
in the
point
beginning.
Benji handed in his notice, right?
Yeah. Oh well, it was vested. It was vested, so he didn't sell any of it.
Ah,
But he still has it.
nice.
Uh,
So you've
Yeah,
had a.
I'm
That's pretty
holding.
cool. You couldn't touch it. That's probably the best kind of introduction to crypto where you can't put your own hands on it. I really like that because that's when the bad stuff happens. That's
Sure. But yeah, and I remember like having to buy ETH for the first time was kind of was a bit. I mean, it was fine, but it was a bit difficult. So it's kind of stuff. This kind of stuff. I mean, made me think that we need to make the game as non as friendly as possible for non crypto people, so people can join easily and
because it's
yeah.
painful.
It's
Really
painful.
setting up your account for the first time, like you have to set up an exchange first, which you have to go through all the KYC usually, and then you have to create a MetaMask, and you have to save this seed phrase, which is so mind-boggling to most people when they see like, what is a seed phrase? Oh, there's Lord Bezoge. I don't know what we can't see what all the NPCs say because they're hidden behind the cameras. But
maybe we can move our faces off to the right-hand side a little bit.
or maybe Alex can read them out. Maybe Alex can read out what he says.
Yeah, what's he saying?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Well, he said magic always works. I don't know how to skip to the next word. Does it have like a way to go forward with the discussion?
No, I think that's all he says.
Oh.
He's just a generic
Oh.
NPC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a pretty dark-looking character.
Yeah, it looks a bit scary. I would find him on top of the tower rather down here. That's the only thing I would love, The wizard, the lord, at the top of the tower.
I mean, the graphics in this, I mean, we're looking at a bit of a bad, not a bad render, but it's not as high quality as it could be, but it still looks super smooth. The gameplay looks really fast and nice. Like, is this one of the, so it's obviously, it needs to be like this because you guys, what we were just talking about MetaMask, private keys, all this stuff. This is not conducive with gaming, in my opinion. Like if you want to pick up a pad, you want to play a game, this is not going to work. This is not going to happen. So, yeah. I mean, what's the bigger picture for you guys in regards to that? Like, how do you see it in the next couple of years? How important do you think onboarding will be? And do you think you guys can kind of set a bit of a level here as well? Like, what do you think?
I'm just getting distracted because Alex has just got stuck somewhere in the map, I think. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's still early beta, so there's a few glitches in the map. Can you maybe say that again, the question there?
Yeah, sure, man. I mean,
almost. Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead, man.
Nice. I'm also getting distracted. It's fun to watch. No, I'm talking about onboarding, Steve, and like the kind of how do you see it in the next couple of years? Like, do you see this division between GameFi and play to earn, and how do you think it's going to play out over the next couple of years? What we're hearing is that gamers want to play games for fun. The financial implication of it is actually not so desirable. I think maybe that's got it twisted a little bit. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I would 100% agree. That's kind of what we're doing here. We believe in play and earn, not play to earn. And I think what you'll find is if you create a game that is play to earn, by definition, it may sound a bit crazy, but it's essentially a Ponzi scheme.
Yes,
because when you create something that is play to earn and everyone just wants to take out and no one wants to put in, that's not sustainable. It's just impossible to do. And I think we found that with some games that have been released. I'm not going to mention any names, but I think we found that, and it's not by design. It's just something that wasn't thought about in advance. So we've tried to create a game that's really fun to play, that people will want to play whether they're earning or not. We actually have what we call algorithmic in-game earning pools. And what we do is the earning as you develop through the game gets higher and higher. So there's incentive for you to reinvest everything that you earn as tokens into making more powerful weapons, armor, and items in order for you to progress, because the biggest earning is at the end of the game. And what that does is, much like in World of Warcraft, where people would farm gold and they would sell the gold, and much where people would really trade the rare weapons, we can have the same sort of ecosystem, because those rare weapons are going to help you advance faster in the game. And the faster you can advance, the more you can earn. And therefore, those weapons will have real value, because if they're enabling people to earn more in the game.
Yeah.
So that's the ecosystem that we're trying to create, where people are not just playing to get their certain amount of tokens every day. They're playing because they really want to progress, and they're reinvesting everything that they have earned back into the game, into the ecosystem. And the way they would potentially make money, yes, they could just sell the tokens that they earn, but we think that they'll actually end up trading the NFTs and selling the weapons that they earn in the game, because that's what really enables the other players. If I need, let's say I have a low-level weapon, and that's what I need when I'm level 1.
Yeah.
Once I get to level 5, I have a new weapon that's more powerful. I don't need my level 1 weapon anymore. So I can then sell that to someone that might find some use for it, right? An early level player that can buy it, yeah. And as I upgrade, I can continue selling all my lower level weapons. Or if I get to the end and I get this really rare weapon and I think that's worth so much money that I'd rather just play with a worse weapon, I could then sell it, and someone might want to buy it.
Decision making around your items as well, isn't it? As well, that comes in as well. That's interesting. So you think that people will start to trade NFTs, and like by incentivizing people to remain inside the ecosystem of the game, it will work? And that I also, because the game is set up for fun and gameplay, not for earning. I can't agree with you more with what you just said. It's, if you have a game that's designed to make money, there's only so long it's going to last. It's not sustainable, right? So, and I suppose we should Go on,
that's why we have the funny NPCs and the funny enemies, like the trolls. I don't know if we've seen any trolls yet. They're like the troll face meme, and they're hilarious when you see them. They're the best enemy, my favorite enemy. But we try to make it very streamer friendly, because if we have a lot of these funny things and NPCs that are on trend, let's say there's something trending online right now that everyone's talking about, we can very quickly, within a few days, add an NPC. We can add a quest that is related to that real life event, that trending thing on Twitter. We can add it to the game, and streamers and their.
Oh, Steve's frozen a little bit there. I'm sure he'll be back in a second.
Oh, let me switch VPN.
Oh, there we go.
Is that better?
That's perfect, mate. Yeah, you just froze for a second there, Steve. No problem. You're back now.
One thing I also would mention is it's a cross-platform game. So this will be on mobile, so iOS and Android, and PC in the same servers. So you can play on PC with your friend on mobile.
Nice. And that's currently available. You can download this on mobile devices right now, or is that forthcoming?
It's forthcoming, yeah.
Forthcoming soon. Okay, cool. Nice. I mean, and that's another thing that's going to become super important for onboarding for gaming, I think, as well. Mobile device friendliness, right? A lot of dapps that we see, very desktop driven, even bringing games from desktop. So it makes sense that we're going to see more of a shift towards mobile. I think if you look in the DappRadar rankings, you see the top 10 games. I think 5 of the top 10 are on mobile first. So it's becoming very, very important.
I think the main thing is, sorry to talk over you there. I think the main thing is, without mobile, the adoption can be very small. I mean, most people are playing games on mobile. And also, because of the way that other blockchain games are built, where you need a wallet and you need all these things to play, it's not really feasible to create a mobile game. No. Because it ends up being a WebGL game that you're playing inside MetaMask.
Yes.
And that experience is horrible. So I think the way that we have the system created, where you just log in with an account and you link your wallet to that account, so you get access to all your NFTs if you're a crypto player, I think it works a lot better. It allows us to go on mobile and PC at the same time.
Absolutely, it's going to be important. I just want to flick to Alex. What was that was happening there? You're fighting with something that looks pretty cool. What's this?
Yeah, that's a Doge apparently, and it. Yeah, and I'm low health. I'm 42 HP, so I was scared to hit it and die directly. Good thing Jacob helped me out, but yeah, it's a.
What do you make of it, Alex? Like play test. You've been playing for like a good 30 minutes now, like having a run around. What's your first impressions, man?
The first thing, I love the NPCs and their dialogue. It's really nice. And in terms of gameplay, I like how it's smooth to jump around and move around. I don't know if there's anything for the stamina for running because it's running out real fast, which is a bit annoying, but that's how games work. And right now I just died and I got tracked. So perfect timing, I guess. So people.
That's the troll. That's the enemy, actually. That's the troll face enemy in the game.
Well, yeah. Let's see where we're gonna respawn. Oh, we respawn at the same spot. That's really nice. Yeah, it's friendly that way. Just respawn the same spot, rather than respawning somewhere else where you have to run back to continue your quest. So yeah, so far it's good.
Looks huge. Like the map is really expansive here. Is this just one area? Whoa.
No, it's a really big map. It seems like I think there's in the middle. Yeah, if you like to go
This is the neutral zone of the game. So there are, I think there are 9 other worlds. So this is the neutral zone. In the center of them is Bullish, the city of Bullish. And then Bullish, there's another world called Bearish, and that's the dungeon where the FUD King mined to steal the private keys. That's the Bearish is a lot smaller than the neutral zone, I believe, Benji. The neutral zone is 34 square kilometers. It's half the size of Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
To give you a sense for scale. Also, Bearish is about half the size of this map, and then we have eight other maps as well that are all the same size. So they'll be released in future expansions, but essentially, the amount of space in the open worlds will be massive. There'll be 10 worlds basically the same size as this one. It takes about half an hour to walk from one side of the map to the other.
Wow,
it's a huge map. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that the same. We've been starting the sim for a long time now, and I think we've been running in circles, and it felt like a lot. And yeah, movement is really good. As the pace is really nice compared to the size of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the game you don't necessarily feel it, but actually you're running super fast. Like compared to a real human, it's like very, very fast. But it's just that the map is so big that you don't necessarily feel it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Steve, about the kind of on-chain, off-chain stuff, and it's a little bit kind of blockchain-y, and we won't go too deep into it because it's kind of blockchain jargon territory.
We can go deep into that stuff. I like the geeky stuff.
It got me this morning because I was looking around and I saw that the token is an ERC20 token and that the game is running on Ethereum. So straight away, I was like, how are you handling the microtransactions? How are you handling gas fees? How are you handling these things? So I thought I'll just ask you rather than spend ages researching. I'm guessing you've got some sidechain action or things are being done off-chain. Tell me more, man. How is this working?
So we're actually chain agnostic. So we're going to support as many chains as we possibly can. I think that's extremely important to give people choice.
Yeah.
We don't actually necessarily have all the in-game transactions on chain.
Okay.
We have them on the game server. And when you will, anything that you want to hold yourself, like NFTs or tokens, you can withdraw to your own wallet if you want.
Okay.
But again, this is going into what we're trying to achieve here with making it a play and earn game for non-crypto people. Most people don't hold crypto on a wallet. They hold it in a centralized exchange. And the reason for that is it's quite complicated to set up a wallet, and a lot of people don't need it, right? They just want to hold. They want to buy Bitcoin, hold it on the exchange, and sell it when they decide to sell it, and necessarily interested or care about the decentralized aspect of it.
Absolutely.
So for those players that are doing that do want to be fully decentralized, anything they earn in the game, they can withdraw to their wallet whenever they want. But we kind of restrict on-chain to just when it's needed. So I think that's a troll in the bushes there. Maybe you can lure him out of the bushes. There he goes. There he goes.
That's definitely. Wait, let me put him in the sun so we can see him much better. In darkness, you cannot see a troll.
Yeah. We're going to make them a little bit bigger because they're a little bit too short right now. There you go.
I like how it's a skeleton with a troll face. It's...
Yeah. They're pretty fun. They're kind of modeled around the I can't remember what the enemies are called in Zelda Breath of the Wild. I should know this. I just can't remember.
They do. Yeah.
The early enemies, they always attack you. But yeah, I mean, everything that needs to be on chain is on chain. Everything that is not, because essentially when you're playing a game, you're connecting to a centralized server, especially an MMORPG. So any player that is playing our game is already not playing in a trustless environment, right? It's at the moment with the technology that's available, it's essentially impossible to create an MMORPG that's fully trustless, all decentralized. And so we think it's just at the especially in the beginning, while the technology is where it is, it's not necessary for the player. Most players don't care about that. So we try to just build the most user-friendly experience to make it as easy as possible for them to get into blockchain. And I think that is by a little bit of centralization, but also offering the decentralization for those that want it.
Like it. It's a good idea. I mean, have you got thoughts? We spoke about wallets a little bit there and like abstracting away that complication. Have you guys thought about having your own wallet that the players can use in this game and then maybe can extend beyond? Or you guys thinking about that at all? He's smiling.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm allowed to say here.
You're thinking about it, but development.
We kind of are. We are actually working on our own wallet. I'll leak that. I guess the community are going to be asking me when wallet for like
when wallet. But it does make sense, Steve. Right? It does seem to be a logical next step for you guys. It does for me anyway. It seems to make sense.
Yeah, we kind of like Apple when they say, why do they not have a calculator app for the iPad? Right. We want to do it. If we do it, we'll do it right. And so we don't want to just create a clone of MetaMask or one of these other wallets. We want it to fit our purpose. So what we're actually trying to do, without saying too much, we want to create a system where a wallet where you don't have to worry about gas fees.
Yes.
You don't need to have a token to pay for gas fees in order to do transactions. And we have a solution for that that we're working on. So that people will be able to, like, if I withdraw my NFTs to my wallet, I'll be able to sell them on OpenSea or on anywhere on chain without actually paying any gas fees, without owning any ETH.
Nice. That's exactly.
I'm not going to say how we do it because it's a little bit proprietary how we're going to do that, but
keep that under your hat, Steve. That sounds special.
We want to do. That's what we want to achieve because I think that's the most painful thing for most people. Like you have Polygon, you have ETH, you have all these different chains, and every time you have to try and get some tokens there. It's a huge pain. Someone just messaged me in a private group saying when wallet.
When wallet. Somebody just messaged it here as well. When wallet. That's it, man. What was that thing you were saying about people in crypto not being impatient, Steve? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, I know.
I swear you said that earlier. So we've just disproved that myth. But that, to me, sounds very logical and cool. And like you say, you don't just want to go for a straight carbon copy of something that exists. It needs to be fit for purpose. So patience is a virtue when people are trying to change the game. So all the when wallet people, when patience would be a good question, a good thing.
Oh, that when wallet's going to go on for months until the wallet is launched. Every day I'm going to get messages in the community saying when wallet.
It absolutely is the biggest friction point though that I see, and has stopped. Even thinking back a few years when people were saying, "Oh, get off Ethereum, get into Matic, get into Binance." That first move of sending or bridging, that is the real blocker, in my opinion. It's like the thing that really kicks you in the teeth and says, can you be bothered to do this right now? And if you can't, you know, that's it. And then you just kind of walk away. And it's a horrific sticky point to have in an onboarding process. So yeah, anything that fixes ridiculous, really. And for many years as well, we've been suffering with this. So yeah, I mean, thinking about that as well, guys, like just coming towards the end of the session, and I just want to kind of get your opinions on Web3 in general. Like, it's a pretty new space, especially regards to gaming right now, and like how we're communicating with people. And I see, so it's a blockchain game for non-crypto people, but you guys are using crypto native slang, rect, stuff like this. These are terms my nan doesn't know about. What's the thinking here, like in regards to, are you trying to educate people about crypto? Because I'm seeing a bit of a paradox here where
exactly that
non-crypto people. So you want to educate them and teach them.
We want to ease people in. Yeah. So if you imagine there's kids playing this game and they learn all the crypto jargon, I think that would be incredible. You know, if you have kids going around that are playing the game and they're reciting all this crypto jargon, oh, you've jumped onto one of the glitched boats. They're fixed in a recent build, but this build is the old one. But yeah, we want to ease people into the crypto space. So we want to kind of educate people through the quests in the game, through all the content in the game, teach them the jargon, make them aware. We want to actually integrate Web3 platforms into the game as well. So maybe in future, with something like, this is not a official announcement or anything like that, but let's say in future we had something like Aave.
Yeah.
Let's say we had Aave. We could integrate Aave directly into the game. Like, we could have a loan store. You go in, you talk to the NPC, and you actually take a loan. And he says, what collateral do you have? And then you can sort of educate people and actually let them take an Aave loan, but all in the game, right? Just with the currency I have in the game. And I think that's a good way to get people into DeFi and into Web3 in a way that they just don't even know they're doing it. You know, I think that's the goal here.
That's that killer sentence that I often say, that they don't even know they're doing it. That's where we need to get, right? Like, people don't care how cash machines work. As long as the money comes out, they're happy. That's where we need to get to with these sort of onboarding processes. I think that's really interesting to hear as well. But it sounds like you got some pretty big plans, Steve. Like, gaming might just be the beginning of things for you guys, right? Because you're teaching people about DeFi mechanics here. You're teaching people about financial independence. Where can you go from there? Like, I mean, gaming is one part of things. Is there any thoughts about expansion? Making you drop?
There's a lot. We're trying to keep it narrow at the moment, just to things that we know we can achieve. We know we can create a great MMORPG. I think there's not very many teams in the world that can. Probably about 20 teams that could create a world and an MMORPG like we're creating. I think that's a tough thing to do. I think what we're trying to, there's actually a chart in the middle of the city here. If you look to the left, there's it's actually our token chart. Yeah, there. And the NPCs, it's a big red candle. I'm not happy about that. But the NPCs cheer or boo based on the most recent candle. It's actually our tokens chart. But yeah, I mean, basically, I've forgotten what the question is. I got distracted by the charts. But yeah, we want to create things that will make Web3 easier for people. Yeah. So whether that's games, whether that's the wallet that we talked about, whether it's Bezoge Labs accounts with NFT marketplaces that allow people to trade without even having a wallet, everything we do will be around making Web3 easier, making access to Web3 more simple and playful. So there may be there definitely will be other products in the future, but nothing that I can talk about already. Yeah,
I think you've given out enough things to get people chasing you for the next few weeks. I'll leave you alone now, Steve. Otherwise, they'll be hounding you completely. But one question I have is that obviously for a company like DappRadar, our historical business model was based on tracking dapps. Now, dapps have evolved a lot over the last few years. We started with a handful on Ethereum, and now we've got nearly 50 blockchains and over 12,000 dapps. Like, in gaming, I see a whole different ball game, that we need to adapt metrics for customer reviews, for different things, for gaming, for players. So the question I have for you is, like, how important do you think platforms like DappRadar will be to give mainstream users the information, the insights, and access to these applications in the future? Like, could we be up there with the App Store? Do you think it's going to be a similar kind of scenario?
Yeah, I think that what you've integrated is an easy way for people to see which games are popular, right? You're in on-chain, but you're based on like actual on-chain data or API provided data.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I used DappRadar was when I was researching about Axie, and I was blown away by the amount of trading volume they had on their NFTs. And I was looking at it on your platform, and I was thinking, this is absolutely insane how much they have on a daily basis. It was like millions and millions of dollars on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you maybe even into the tens of millions on a daily basis, and it was crazy.
And that's on-chain, right? That's only the on-chain activity that we're tracking. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think having access to that sort of data is really valuable to players because they can see which games are popular. Much like you have like the Steam charts. I think DappRadar can be kind of like those Steam charts where you can see what games are people playing, what is popular, what are people actually trading as well. Because I think that's important to see the trading volumes and the liquidity. What does he say? Oh, Brandon Zoji. Okay.
What did he say?
We can't hear you, Alex. We can't hear you.
I think he said I have hairy legs. Just yeah, and then some nonsense. Like, yeah, it's a long word and it's nonsense, but the first one is.
Yeah, he says something like blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
after he says
press or something like that. But that caught me off guard. Like,
I see Benji is laughing. Benji created that one, and he told me about it after. He told me about it after he did it. After it was already live.
Yeah. Well, this like basically the idea of it, these NPCs, is to basically add something kind of fun. Sometimes linked to the real world, sometimes like linked to the universe of the game. And yeah, I just have some fun out of it. Right now, it's mainly like my like not great sense of humor, but like later we want to include more the community. I mean, there is right now, I don't know if it's live already, but there is a contest of like
NPC contest.
Yeah, NPC contest, so people can submit what they want an NPC say in the game. And so if anyone has an idea, I mean, don't hesitate at least to send us, because basically it could be anything as long as it's funny or makes sense in the game.
Yeah, I felt a bit betrayed when I got rickrolled when I met Rick and I watched him dance and sing for me. So that was a good. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's some nice like humor into it, and I'm being surprised by these NPCs for sure. And like these, I'm gonna call them speculators because they're sitting in front of the charge just speculating, and as soon as the charge goes down, they just go like boo and like sad. And
yeah,
I feel like that's the nice part of it too. And
But
we
this
have
is kind of
I
cool.
see-
Like, people are passing through this area quite often as well, right? So you're kind of glancing up at this chart as you're moving around the world as well. It's nice. I like it.
Sure. And we didn't announce that this time that the test was open, so there are a couple of people who joined like randomly because they're checking the game all the time. But like
Jacob, I saw Jacob was helping you guys out earlier.
Yeah,
he's one of our regular game testers.
But like usually when there are lots of people, I mean, it's a lot of fun to kind of interact here, like talk in the voice chat, send some messages and stuff.
The reason we were doing this as well is because the beta is going to open and people that want to get involved with this need to apply. Is that right, guys? They need to fill in like a form and drop in an application for beta testing. Is that right? Can you tell us a bit about this? How people, if they like what they see, they can get involved?
Yeah, at the moment on zogelabs.io, if you sign up for an account, there's a waiting list. I think there's about 500 people in the waiting list right now, maybe more. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers.
Okay.
But every time we have a test session, we allow a few hundred people in. We just slowly want to ease people into the game rather than having thousands of people on day one and servers having issues. It is still early beta testing, so there's still quite a few bugs, but we release builds on sort of a bi-weekly, 2 to 3 weekly basis at the moment. So this is actually I think this is a 2.5 week old build. But there's a lot of things that have been added already internally. So the game looks not completely different, but there's a lot of functionality added in already and bug fixes. But we add them in on sort of 2 to 3 week basis. There's a test session. I think there's 2 test sessions or 3 test sessions a week, depending on the week. And we add in a few hundred for each session.
Nice. All right, cool. So we threw the link out there as well. So if people want to go and get involved with that, there's a thing there. But as you guys are saying, you've already had a lot of applications there as well. I like the way you're doing it though, and not just throwing 1 billion people in there to break it. Very smart. Almost too logical, you guys, I would say. Like, it's interesting.
I see someone asking to see Benji's cat.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can try to get him, but I cannot make any promise.
It doesn't come.
I'll be back in a minute. I'll try to get him.
Let's see.
Everyone wants to see the cat. He was in the thumbnail, so I think everyone was expecting the cat to be on stream.
That's what they're here for, guys. Like, you didn't think they came here to see us, right? They just came to see Benji's cat. Like, I'm pretty sure about that.
I see someone said rabbit as well. His cat does look a little bit like a rabbit. Benji just recently relocated from China to Switzerland, and he took his cat with him. So I have pictures of Benji his wife is pregnant, so he was flying business class, and he took his cat into the business class.
Oh, that is cute, though.
There he is.
Cute. Oh, there he is.
There
we go. Right, that's it. We've ticked all the boxes. We've seen the cat. We've seen the game. Everything's perfect. I've got one question for you, though, Steve, and it's a kind of broad question. In your opinion, what do you think are, I'm going to say 3, but several critical ingredients for any brand to be active in Web3 right now? So you guys are doing a pretty cool job with your very attractive social feed and things. But what would you say are 3 things that are really critical right now for Web3 companies?
I think number 1, funding with the current market. I think having sufficient funding and the right team to build the game, like to be able to pay for a high quality team. I think that's something we're lucky to have, that we have about 60 people working on the project, and we just keep building. Like, so because we have the team and we have the funding, we're able to just keep building and not worry about the price of the token at the moment, because no matter what we do for price of token, it's not going to get much traction, right? Trying to get people to come in and buy the token right now is all very good, and it's probably a reasonably good time to buy with the markets down. But
yep.
I mean, every token right now, anytime there's a load of big buys, it gets sold off, because that's just how the market conditions are. And so I think being able to just build and not worry about token price is extremely important for teams. Having the funding, and I think I'll stick to what we're trying to do here as a company as the third thing, is make the game accessible to as many people as possible. Yeah. And trying to narrow down your player base to 0.5% of the world on day one, like before you even get started, I think is a crazy. I still can't get my head around it, why all these blockchain games have done that. They've literally narrowed from the entire gaming industry down to 0.5% of the population. I think it's crazy. It's madness. Right?
When you put it like that, though, maybe when we put this out and we put this video out and people hear you saying things like this, it actually occurs. But it feels to me like a lot of the stuff we're talking about is very logical, and yet it doesn't appear to have made it to that moment yet. Like Steve earlier, when you're talking about taking an item in a game, selling it, getting a bit of money for that, getting something else. I'm not a big gamer, but it all seems really logical. I don't understand why gamers are a bit resilient and a bit against this whole thing. Like, do you have any ideas to share about that? Because what I see in the space is a bit of negativity, but I don't understand why. Because it seems
I'll tell you, I think a story that with some figures of a friend of mine.
Go on.
I'm a previous investor in my last business, who is a billionaire, I believe. He ran a business about 10, 15 years ago, and this is where he made all his money. And this is 10, 15 years ago, early World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. He made the largest Chinese marketplace for World of Warcraft items and trading. So he had like basically he was a middleman. If someone had had a rare weapon in World of Warcraft, they wanted to sell it. He would basically offer some sort of insurance. You could come onto his platform, list it for sale, and someone would buy it, and then you go meet them in game and hand it over. People were, and he literally made over $1 billion from that one company in 5 years. So I think that explains the concept very well. I think gamers are already doing it. I think there's a lot of value in in-game items. That was in-game items that, you know, didn't necessarily have any value. You couldn't just sell them on a marketplace easily. It was against the terms of service of the game.
Yeah.
And people did it. And he made billions of dollars, over $1 billion, running that marketplace. And I think it shows that players want that. So they may tell you that they don't want it, but I think what they actually do in reality is a completely different thing.
Okay. So they're just lying to us.
I think, well, I think there's a lot of very vocal people that don't want to do that, right? They think that the whole pay to win thing is not very good. But actually,
we agree with, don't we? We've said that, you know, it's not sustainable. That we're also not advocating for crappy games where you grind buttons. You know, we're not saying they're good either.
No, but pay to win. I mean, pay to win, where you top up money into the game in order to be the most
but isn't that like player? Every mobile game pretty much ever made is
it's every game. It's every game at the moment. Every game is basically pay to win at the moment. I mean, and then you also have like World of Warcraft back in the day wasn't pay to win, but it was because people found a way to make it pay to win. So that's clearly what people want, right? A lot of the people that don't have a lot of money to invest into games will be very vocal about how they don't want it to be pay to win. But it will always end. I think every game will always end up being pay to win, no matter what you do. So why not make it a more equal playing field, level playing field, and allow everyone to trade openly?
Yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. Like pay to win, but don't pay the centralized developers. Pay each other to win. That seems to be a more
exactly. Yeah. That's what we want. And we want people to just buy from each other, not buy from us. We're not in it to make a load of money off of the players buying things from us. We want them to buy from each other, and we just take a little cut for helping out with that transaction.
It's a really interesting answer. You made me think of something there as well, that you've got the percentage of pay to win compared to the percentage of playing for fun would be very different. So you've got this small group of people that pay to win, who have the ability to pay to win, and they're kind of marginalizing all these other users. And it kind of does make a lot of sense. Just thinking about it there. But I just see a lot of negativity. Like we saw an article the other day that was reviewing, what was the game they were reviewing? Blancos. Sterling review all the way through until halfway through the article, where the writer had discovered there was NFTs involved. Almost flipped his entire opinion because there was NFTs involved. It was like he loved it, loved everything, amazing. Oh, there's NFTs, don't like it anymore. It was like that, and it seemed very fickle. And I was like, the stigma attached. And I get. You've answered the question really well there. The gamers are perhaps saying one thing but doing another, and the ones who can't afford to pay and win are the vocal majority, whereas the pay to win gang are kind of minority, and they're pretty happy, so they're staying quiet, right? Yeah, good point. Good point. Interesting. I don't think we're anywhere near the kind of levels of adoption we want to see, but I think projects like this are getting us closer, where it's a genuine kind of, it's a game for fun. Like I've been staring at games now for nearly 2 years on DappRadar, and this is far more impressive than a lot of the stuff I've seen over the years. So it's cool. It's cool to see progression, actually. All right, so wrapping up towards the end, guys. So this is a beta test that's out there now. As we said, you can jump in, you can apply to be one of those testers. But what else is happening? We're getting towards the end of the year, but what's on the roadmap that players can look forward to for the rest of this year, and maybe just heading in? And when wallet, Steve, as well.
When wallet. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Okay, because I cut off for a second there. Towards the end of the year, I think we have some NFT sales that'll be coming up. We do have a weapon sale that we'll be doing reasonably. The community also, I'm very aware, if I say the word soon, I was about to say, there's a meme of that I say soon all the time. So I was going to say that very soon. So there is an upcoming NFT weapon sale. I don't know the exact date yet, but it'll be soon. And the launch of our game will be early next year. The goal is for Q1, so end of Q1 most likely. or before the end of Q1, the game will be launched on mainnet. Or throughout the next few months, we will be adding in a lot of things. We'll start testing NFT withdrawals, token withdrawals to testnet. So all of the actual on-chain integrations will begin going into the game. At the moment, there's just link your wallet, and any NFTs you have in it are accessible in the game. But
Nice.
we'll actually be adding in the ability to mint onto testnet very soon. What else is there that I'm missing? We're currently raising funding through the Magical Block. We're in our private round right now, strategic round right now, of fundraising. We're fundraising. I'm not going to say the numbers actually because they're not public. But we have several investors already on. We'll hopefully be closing the strategic round pretty soon, and then we'll then be moving on to our private round. And when we launch that, we'll actually be launching the staking platform for our native token as well, where holders of Bezoge can stake their token and receive magical blocks as rewards for staking their Bezoge tokens. And then they'll also get extra rewards for staking as well. So like extra XP in the game, maybe unlock some access to early NFT sales, access to things like that from staking. So we'll be giving a lot of rewards to people that stake Bezoge tokens in terms of early access to weapons and items for in the game.
So rewarding those early adopters as well. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Some exciting stuff lined up for the rest of the year. Sounds very good as well. All righty. And how can people kind of get involved with you? Like if they want to give any feedback, if they want to ask any questions, what's the best channels for your team? Do they use Discord, Twitter? What's the best place for people to reach out?
Yeah, we have Twitter. I think it's in my name on here. At Bezoge. I believe it's just at Bezoge. Like I was just looking to see if I could make sure I got it right. It's at Bezoge. We also have Telegram and Discord. You can find all of them on our Twitter account. So I think the best way is to go to at Bezoge on Twitter, and you can find. I think we have a link tree where you can find all the links to Discord. We tried to keep a lot of activity into Discord recently. It was Telegram, but Telegram's it gets very messy when there's a lot of people in there. Discord is a bit more organized, so Discord is probably the best place to be for the first updates.
So Twitter for kind of releases and updates, and then Discord for sort of conversation and questions and things like that. All right, very cool.
Exactly,
very cool. Nice. Fabrizio, what do you make of it? You've been watching this now for almost an hour. What do you think of the gameplay? How's it look to you, man?
Look to me very, very exciting, very fun. Just the stamina, as Alex said, is a little bit annoying because it just run out very fast. But yes, I like it. And
it's kept you involved, right? It kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I'm level 4, just fighting with a jump dodger. But yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys. So as we said at the beginning, if you retweet this stream, you may be in a chance for winning a Bezoge, which is an origin block. So that's a pretty good prize. And we're still live, so you can still retweet and you can still do that, tag some friends and get that out there. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. So I just want to thank everybody for coming along today and playing the game. So the reason we're doing this is to kind of showcase blockchain games. Blockchain gaming is a pretty nascent industry. We're quite young. I see people in the chat trying to compare us to Grand Theft Auto, when patience is what I say to that. So these kind of things, like the reason we're doing these shows is to sort of outline what's happening in blockchain gaming, to show what's available, what kind of developments taking place, and that there are projects out here that are different genres. You've got play to win, play to earn, pay to win, all sorts of different things evolving, GameFi as well. So yeah, it's quite an interesting opportunity for people to jump in and see what's going on. So thank you, guys. I really want to thank you. Do you want to give any shout outs to you two guys before we jump off?
I'll shout out to everyone in the Bezoge community, I would say. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I think Jacob, who was helping out. I think he was helping Andy quite a bit because he had some weapons. And I think Andy didn't have any weapons, so he was struggling against the enemies there. Maybe if we were on a future stream, we can kind of show the whole minting in the game and how you create weapons
that would be cool.
and armor. But a big shout out to the entire team. Everyone's been working really hard. I know the Chinese team are on holiday right now, but our teams in Dubai, in Pakistan, in Switzerland, Benji, all around the world. Thank you for everyone working really hard on the project. and I'm quite excited to finally launch next year.
Yeah, man. Exciting stuff. I think once the full game launches, it's time to get you guys back in. And like you say, we need to demo some of these other parts of the game as well. We've only just kind of touched on it here just to kind of have a first conversation. So for sure, I think we'll be talking again. Big stuff from you guys, I think. Alex is just loving that chart there. He's just staring at that. Not going to change, bro. It's not going to change.
Someone
I see a green candle.
I did.
Bezoge might be cheering now.
That's pretty nice. See, I could just see myself hanging out in this part of the game all day, which is dangerous. Right? Like I'm just going to hang here in the forum. It's, all right, guys. So thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate you all coming along to show us what we've got here. Very cool. Links in the description for everything we talked about today as well. So, and I hope that you watchers have picked up some tips and tricks and enjoyed watching so you guys can go through this experience. So big thanks to Steve. Big thanks to Ben today for joining us. And thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time with another DappRadar blockchain gaming event. So in the meantime, stay cool, keep playing games, and we'll see you all there.